Hi everybody, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to talk about how I save for retirement as a self-employed individual. So as you probably know, I am a wedding photographer, which means that I'm self-employed. I don't have an employer who will take a percentage or a certain amount every month from my check and put it into a 401k for me. So I have to do that myself. And I don't feel like there's a lot of clear education out there of how to do this. Maybe more so in the past year. There have been a lot more educational videos, and honestly I've even seen it all over TikTok of people talking about creating a Roth IRA. But when I first started my business, I had no idea about saving for retirement. I hadn't even thought of it, and so I just thought that it would be helpful for me to make a video about how to do this and how to get started and what you should do and just kind of what I've learned about it. And so I do want to preface by saying that this is not financial advice. It is just what works for me, and I'm just telling you my experience, and if it works for you, then that's great. I hope that this is helpful and educational. I also want to preface and just say that I do not know everything. I am by far still a beginner in this kind of stuff, and I'm just sharing what I know. So I am not professional in any capacity, and so I'm just sharing what I have learned and what works best for me. So step number one is to open up a Roth IRA. You can do this through lots of different banks. I use Charles Schwab for mine. I just want to briefly talk about the difference between a Roth IRA and a traditional 401k. So when you contribute money to your 401k, it is pre-tax. So that means that the money that you put in there is not taxed. So if you're putting in, I don't really have like an idea of how much would go into your 401k per month because I've never had one. But let's just say that you contribute $300 per month into your 401k, and a lot of times your employer will match that amount, which is really great. That's one of the awesome benefits of being employed with an organization versus self-employed. That $300 is not taxed up front, so you're not paying taxes on that $300 even though you're making it. It's part of your income because you never really see it. It just goes straight from your check to your 401k. So say after however many years you finally retire and you start withdrawing from your 401k. Well, the money that you've put into it, in addition to the money that you've made from interest from just the market increasing and everything, that is all going to be taxed. So now every single time you withdraw money from your 401k when you're retired, you are having to pay taxes on that. So you're paying taxes on the money that was pre-taxed, and you're paying taxes on the interest that grew. In contrast, a Roth IRA is where you put, let's just say, the $300 again every single month, and that money is taxed. So basically you're still paying taxes on that $300 of your income up front, but then when you get to retirement, none of the money that you're taking out is taxed. So yes, you've paid taxes on the amount that you put in, but you're not having to pay taxes on any of the interest that your money has made you. A Roth IRA is really great because you are saving a lot more money on the back end versus a traditional 401k just saves you money on the front end. Hopefully that makes sense, but if you have any other questions, you can comment, you can DM me, whatever, or you can look up other videos on YouTube because there's a lot of videos showing the difference between a Roth IRA and a traditional 401k. But that's step number one, is to open up a Roth IRA. Step number two is to contribute a certain amount of money to it per month. So you're only allowed to put $6,000 into it per year. So that comes out to be $500 a month. I know that $500 a month is a big chunk to have to take that out of your paycheck and put it into retirement. But even if you're able to contribute $300 a month, that's still going to be a great amount, because I'm going to tell you approximately how much that would yield you when you retire. I calculated this with a Roth IRA calculator on the internet, and I'm reading off my phone. But if you start at age 22 and you contribute $300 a month, which is $3,600 annually, with an average annual rate of return of around 8%, which I would say is being pretty conservative. If you look over the past years of the market, it is usually around 8 to 10%, and so 8% I think is being pretty conservative. You will retire at age 65 with almost $1.3 million in your Roth IRA. The most amazing thing about that is if you are only contributing $3,600 every year from age 22 to 65, then this is the amount of money that you would have put into it, $154,800. The rest of the money in that almost $3 million is just interest. Your money grew that much. And now, since you paid taxes up front on the $154,000 that you contributed, you do not have to pay taxes on the amount that it grew, which is just amazing. Additionally, if you are able to contribute more than that, if you're able to max it out every single year and get that $6,000 per year, if you start at age 22 and then you retire at age 65, you will have around $2.13 million in your Roth IRA, which is just incredible. It's incredible, the power of compound interest. And so that is why it's so amazing to get a Roth IRA, because you don't have to pay taxes on the amount that your money grows. And keep in mind that these are of course just estimates. Right now in particular, the market is down in 2022, but something about the market is it always recovers, it always goes back up. Number 3 is to buy mutual funds or ETFs within your Roth IRA. So you can't just put the money in there. You can't just transfer $300 to it or $500 to it every single month and then expect it to grow on its own. It's kind of like an account on Robinhood or something where you put the money in, but you have to buy stuff with that money. This is where I am not a pro at this. I really don't know that much about it, and I've been trying to do more research, but I will just share what I've been doing. The 3 things that I've bought in my Roth IRA are VUG, VOO, and VTI. And I'm not saying that those are the best by any means, but I've just found that those 3 have been recommended a lot, and all the information online, videos on YouTube, or just articles that I've read on different websites, they all seem to have those in common. And so those are just some that I've bought, but you can do your own research and see what you think would be best. And then step number 4 is just to watch it grow. So with your Roth IRA, you can't access it before you're 59 and a half without penalties. Your Roth IRA truly is a retirement account. So the point is to put the money in there and then just let it grow. You don't touch it, you don't really do anything. You just have to make sure that you're buying mutual funds, ETFs, etc. within your Roth IRA. And there will be some years where you check it and you're discouraged. That's me right now. My Roth IRA is down this year, but it's just because of the market, and the market always recovers. So just a little recap of how I'm saving for retirement. Number 1, I opened a Roth IRA and I used Charles Schwab for that. Number 2, I'm trying to max out my Roth IRA every year, but if not, I'm putting at least $300 a month into it. Number 3, with the money that I'm contributing to it, I'm investing that in different mutual funds and ETFs. And number 4, I'm just sitting back and watching it grow over the years. So if you have a small business, if you're self-employed, I hope that this was helpful for you and that you have a better grasp on what a Roth IRA is and how to start that and what to do within your Roth IRA. Again, I was very confused and just felt like I didn't know where to start when I first started looking into creating a retirement account and saving and having to do that myself. But I hope that this was helpful for you, and that's going to be it for this video. I'm so thankful for you being here and for watching another video of mine, and hope that you enjoyed it and that it was helpful. If it was, and if you did enjoy it, I would love for you to give it a thumbs up, and I would love for you to subscribe so you can follow along. I'm so grateful for each of you that are here, and I can't wait to see you guys next time. Bye.